that water like pirates and scuba. Pats got me through it, thank God, hallelujah. I said I was gonna punch it, and didn't. I forgot. Waking up on them pallets turned me to a savage. Had to go get it, Lord knows I ain't have it. Stepping and sliding that ABB challenge. You want it, I got it, don't know you, I'm taxing. Only want profit, don't do too much lack. Bad yellow bitch booty, soft as a mattress. Kashawn in this hoe, what it do, get it brackin'. Cool black as the crackin', my niggas get active. If it don't add up, that boy get subtracted. In love with my money, it's really attractive. No suit and tie till I rest in the casket. When I was in class, had a gun in my khakis. Trapped out my locker, was slanging them Xannies. Serving my teachers to get in the panties. Hustling back with delivering Grammys till I had to boss up, now niggas can't stand me. I had to cut up like Dr. Miami. I got your bitch taking flight to Miami. Nah, I ain't tricking, I got this bitch scamming, but she ain't gon' find out until she gets stranded.
Hello, and thank you for coming to I So Boom the podcast with Shan214. And today we're talking about friendship red flags. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into it. But before we do, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share to a friend or two. You know, all that good stuff. Help me out. As I stated before, we're going to be talking about friendship red flags. And I believe this is going to be very interesting. At least I hope so anyway. So, also before we get into it, I just wanted to make sure I remind everybody that at So Boom the podcast, we talk about all things relationship, mental health. We do confirmations, as far as like if you need advice and different things like that. If you're looking for something like that, or if you got a topic you want me to discuss, or if you just want to, collab in some kind of way, hit me at isobooMshan@gmail.com. It's right there on the ticker. That is isobooMshan. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. So, do you know the red flags when it comes to your friendships? Like, some of y'all don't. And I'm here to tell you, at our big grown age, we really need to see and pay attention to our friendship red flags. Here's some warning signs to look for when you or at least remember, as you start new friendships. As we know, a red flag is that feeling that you get when something is off. That feeling you get in the pit of your stomach that something ain't right, that something is just, you can't put your finger on it, but it ain't it. It's basically your intuition, your gut feeling, and you should listen to that. You should stick to that. And sadly, our past traumas keep us from identifying good versus bad. So we have to be careful when it comes to identifying friendship red flags. I hope my list would at least have you guys stop and observe before you get too deep in a toxic friendship, okay? With that being said, we're going to take a small little music break. Hope you stick around. Make sure you like as you enter. Sit back, relax, and have a good time.
What you talking about, Lincoln?
Baby, you can lay your head down. No, I ain't running game. Swear I'm just trying to make you moan until you screaming out my name. The way I'm holding on your body, trying to beat it out the frame. I got you scratching up my back. Baby, let me feel your pain. The way she move, I swear that shit so intoxicating. We in the room, and I'm trying to see your body naked. That pussy talking to me, and I love our conversations. She want the D, and I can see I speak her body's language. So come take a ride with her. Oak Cliff A1 live, nigga. Pussy so good, it's my dinner. And it stay wet, I can dive in her for real. But I ain't trying to play though. Girl, I'ma dry you out like Play-Doh when I go. Like Fabo, but the neighbors know my name like Trado. Trust me, she bad as she wanna. The ad look like it's an onion. So you already know a young nigga gonna bust the pussy open like a bag of them Funyuns. Smoking that gas in the back after munching. Got it in the back of the lack and we fucking. Girl, I ain't scared, we can get this bitch jumping. Already too deep in the D, got a now. No, I ain't running game. Swear I'm just trying to make you moan until you screaming out my name. The way I'm holding on your body, trying to beat it out the frame. I got you scratching up my back. Baby, let me feel your pain. Baby, you can lay your head down. Girl, I ain't playing games. I just wanna make you moan till you screaming out my name. The way I'm holding on your body, trying to beat it out the frame. The way you scratching up my back.
My bad. I was on mute just talking, and we're back. Now, maybe some of you are asking, how do you spot the red flags, right? And I feel simply it pays to pay attention. I mean, and what I mean by saying this is that not only do you pay attention to the obvious, but you pay attention to that something doesn't feel right feeling, as we stated before, that gut feeling, your intuition, conscience, but yada yada. Now, from the emotional roller coasters of friendships I've been on, I've decided that moving forward and developing new friendships as well as current, I'm going to ask myself about these friendships. Like, I'm going to evaluate and reevaluate to make sure that I'm not entering a red flag or have already entered one. Um, Now, first question, and there's no particular order. I'm just kind of shooting at the hip here, but am I too nervous around this person? Like when you get around this person, do you feel like you can't say certain things or you can't respond a certain way because of their reaction and what their reaction is going to be? You know, do I feel like I'm walking on eggshells? That kind of goes hand in hand. Like walking on eggshells, you feel like you have to be very careful with what you say, how you say it, how you move, because you just don't know how that person is going to snap on you. So I believe those kind of go, hand in hand. The third one I have is, do I feel emotionally drained after spending time with this friend? That's pretty much self-explanatory. Like, do you be with the person or like be on the phone with a person, and by the time you get off the phone with that person, you feel depleted and defeated, just tired and run through? Yeah. If you ask yourself that question and the answer is yes, then I'm here to tell you that's a red flag. Do they make me feel bad about myself? Like, do I go to my friends and vent to them about certain situations and then they make me feel like I'm at fault for everything? You know? Am I negatively influenced by this friend? Like, does this friend make me want to do things that I have no business doing or things that I normally don't do that's out of my character? Does this friend protect you know, not protect, respect my boundaries? Like, does this friend understand that I have boundaries and that I need you to adhere to them? Like, I've been in plenty of friendship situations where my boundaries were not respected, and I think maybe part of that is because maybe I didn't, convey my boundaries in a clear setting. I don't know. Maybe I wasn't clear about what I needed as far as my boundaries. Is this friend genuinely loyal to me? Does this friend have a clear and open communication? Like, can we talk freely and clearly without feeling away, without falling out? Like all of those things, all those little things to me matter. And dealing with people, I found myself feeling real lost at times when we would fall out because for the life of me, I wouldn't understand why the friendship was so hard to deal with, because I don't even really believe that life should be super, super hard. I do understand that hardships will come and things that happen because I've been through a lot of things, okay? But I feel like when you're everyday, day to day it shouldn't be so hard. It shouldn't be so negative and dark all the time. And if it is, we have to evaluate that and figure out why that is. You know what I'm saying? Now, the cool, in my opinion, I feel like adult friendships are unnecessary hard, especially the ones that have crossed over from like childhood. Take it from me, it's hard because it can be hard to confront issues within a friendship and even more harder to let go of all that friendship for good because y'all been around each other for so long. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, let's go ahead and get into and dive into our list of red flags. But before we do, we're going to take another brief music break.
Dog ain't no poodles. Been in that water like pirates and scuba. Pats got me through it, thank God, hallelujah. I said I was gonna punch it and didn't. Forgot. Waking up on them pallets turned me to a savage. Had to go get it, Lord knows I ain't have it. Stepping and sliding that ABB challenge. You want it, I got it, don't know you, I'm taxing. Only want profit, don't do too much lack. Bad yellow bitch booty soft as a mattress. Kashawn in this hoe, what it do, get it brackin'. Cool black is the crackin', my niggas get active. If it don't add up, that boy gets subtracted. In love with my money, it's really attractive. No suit and tie till I rest in the casket. When I was in class, had a gun in my khakis. Trapped on my locker, was slanging them zannies. Serving my teachers to get in the panties. Hustling back with delivering Grammys till I had to boss up, now niggas can't stand me. I had to cut up like Dr. Miami. I got your bitch taking flight to Miami. Nah, I ain't tricking, I got this bitch scamming, but she ain't gon' find out until she gets stranded. I'm in this bitch and I'm feeling outstanding. You see him with me, that's really like family. Go on the chopper, that shit come in handy. Don't run with too many, they won't understand me. Fuck on that bitch, give her plan B. Clean her head back with her man be. I don't have no understanding. So fly, I don't feel like landing. The view from up here is enchanting. Bleed on a nigga like hoes and they cramping. I'm in the streets with the pole, get some lamping. I got some gangsters that's right there off Hampton. That'll come wipe your nose without a napkin. Nah, I ain't worried about nothing. Hop in the whip and then start with a button. I only want money, so don't switch the subject. If he acting funny, like I ain't gon' up it. Catch him in public, do that boy dirty and leave him disgusted. I'm from the dirty, the sweaty, that musty. A triple D baby from Parkland to struggling. Cause all the OGs in my apartment was hustling. If you my dog, then be my dog. It ain't no competition. And if we rockin', bitch, I got you right or wrong, I'm with you. But if you cross me, it's gon' cost you. It ain't no decision. Thought we was partners, opportunists turn to opposition. If you my dog, then be my dog. It ain't no competition. And if we rockin', bitch, I got you right or wrong, I'm with you. But if you cross me, it's gon' cost you. It ain't no decision. Thought we was partners, opportunists turn to opposition.
All right, and we are back at So Boom, the podcast with Shan 214. And again, we are talking about friendship red flags. So without further ado, we're just gonna go ahead and go down there through there with the list. The first thing on my list, hold on, let me y'all have to excuse me. I do kind of like shoot from the hip, but I do like to have some pinpoints jotted down so I don't get too out of the way in my conversation. I don't drift too far, if that makes any sense. All right. First thing on my list is your friendship is built on drama, right? Like, for example, I don't want to bring this up because it seems like every time I bring up something remotely to this, drama happens, but whatever, I'm going to bring it up anyway. So about a year and a half ago or something like that, I was, in a group of friends through YouTube. We had a little private group chat that we were in, and, for a minute, I felt like we were really, really friends. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, obviously we wasn't, and it was kind of dumb of me to think that we were because all we talked about is drama, When it came to talking about the real stuff, like my goals or trying to get my brand off the ground, trying to get, this podcast up and running the way I would like it to be ran, no one really cared. It didn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? It was just all get up in the morning and talk about the dramas of YouTube and who's doing what and tackling this and following that. And I just don't have the energy for that anymore. Like I'm not really into that. So now I miss a lot of what's going on simply because I don't have that group of friends no more that keep me in the loop, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? If they gossip, I mean, and you also got to think about it too. And this is one thing that really hit me, because my mama used to tell me this shit all the time. And as a teenager, as a kid, I always had to learn the hard way about this saying. But the saying goes, if they talk about you, they will talk. If they talk to you about somebody else, they will talk about you to someone else. So, with that being said, you just have to be careful with that, because if it feels too comfortable gossiping about others as soon as they meet you, then yeah, you might want to move around, because there's no good that's going to come from it. That's pretty much the beginning of the end of that friendship. Next thing on my list is jealousy is involved. At times in our friendships, jealousy can be hard to notice because it's not always a clear cut thing, right? Especially with women. With women, it can look like they're giving you bad advice. It can look like they're giving you like a compliment when it's not really a compliment. Um, when you tell them something positive about you or what you're trying to do, or you want to celebrate an achievement that you made, whether it's small or big, they're not there for you. Hell, I had a friend that considered me her best friend for years. I'm talking about since my ninth grade year in high school, right? And for the life of me, when her birthday came around, I would bend over backwards to be at her birthday. But when my birthday came around, oh no, I have to work. Oh, I don't have the money. Oh, it was excuse after excuse after excuse. And I just had to realize you don't really support me like I thought you did. Better yet, with the same friend, when I first started doing this content creating, podcast making, whatever you want to call it, I told her about it because this was my best friend, and I'm thinking she's gonna be excited for me, and I'm like, I'm starting off and I'm kind of achieving things kind of fast at this point, I feel like I'm doing good. I'm finally getting my feet, planted, and I'm figuring things out. And she wouldn't even watch none of my videos, but would send me other YouTube videos of other content creators. Like, how crazy is that? Like, that shit's crazy as hell. Like, it blew me, Okay, but next thing on the list is they intentionally make insulting jokes, right? Like, for example, I have I have how do I say this? She gonna know I'm talking about her. It's okay. She'll be all right. I have a family member, right, that I love so so much. We are so close, right? But she will quickly make an underhand joke. Like, say we're on FaceTime and we chilling and we talking, and I just decide to go make me a little cocktail. Oh, you drinking again? Oh, you do it? And I have to quickly kind of like look at you like, like, what the fuck? Because it kind of, you have to watch out with the jokes, because it'll kind of insinuate that you feel like there's something that they're not. You know what I'm saying? Or like when get ready to go out somewhere and you have on a really cute outfit, but your friend is hating on you. They don't want to say the outfit is cute, and you know that bitch is cute, but you can't get that confirmation from your friend because she want to be a whole hater. You know? All right. Next on my list is respecting boundaries. Boundaries can be very simple. Boundaries can be much deeper. for me, it's not really much to explain except for everybody should have boundaries. I believe everybody do have boundaries. Now, you got some people that don't understand boundaries to the point where they may not be able to, express them properly to their friends or what have you, kind of like myself. But nevertheless, we all have some type of boundary with something. And if your friend, like for example, let's say you just broke up, with your boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, and your friend keeps talking about your ex, and you ask your friend, "Can we not talk about my ex because it's kind of triggering?" And they still make little jokes or still try to give you little information about what they got going on. That's not respecting your boundary. So I like to say that's kind of a major red flag there that can go really, really bad. Okay. Next thing is conversation is one sided, or they always change the subject to make it about themselves. Now, again, I had that same friend. She was my best friend and all this. And I was always the go to person for advice. You can always come to me. We can always talk about it, talk it out. And I'm going to, give you really good advice on how to navigate, tell you how things are going to happen. But when it's time for me to try to open up and vent, which is not easy for me to do, it's not easy for me to just vent to you. I'm a whole Scorpio. I keep stuff to myself. So if I'm venting to you, it's because I really, really will value your opinion and I really need to just get this off my chest. And I trust you. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't received that way. She should end up having a conversation with somebody else on the phone while I'm trying to talk to her, or I gotta call you back, or just not listening altogether, just watching TV as I'm talking. You know what I'm saying? Dumb stuff like that. And that could just that just really grinds my gears. You know what I'm saying? Now, honestly, this can be a red flag, but at the same time, it can also be a sign of just poor communication too. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes we just have a hard time with communicating with one another, and we just end up kind of talking over one another, or we just kind of selfishly not care about what that person is talking about and just want to make it about us. It it's just, that's one of those things where you got to kind of figure out on your own. You know what I'm saying? Next thing I have is gaslighting, manipulating, and guilt tripping. If you are experiencing any of those things, bitch, you better run. Okay? Run for the hills, run, Forest, run. Seriously. Those are absolutely major in any relationship as well as friendship. And it can be led to emotional, verbal, and sometimes even physical abuse. So, on a serious note, if you are experiencing any one of those, go get the proper help that you need. Get out of that situation. Go tell somebody, make your plans to do what you need to do, because that's not it. And there's a lot of conflict. I don't know about you, but I feel like relationships shouldn't have a lot of issues, right? Like it's a lot of things that's going on in this world, right? And it's not like in friendships, you have the added stress on commitments and finances and household managing, shit like that. We don't have those issues in friendships. We just here to be each other's supportive friend. You know what I'm saying? We're just supposed to be here to be there for one another, help each other grow. And if it feels like the time you share with your friend includes a lot of bickering, arguing, getting frustrated, or you just getting mad at the other for like, you know, just reasons you just can't bear, and you're trying to, you're getting to a point where you're reevaluating y'all's friendship, then it's not for you, boo. Just move on. Seriously, move on. The efforts are one-sided. It could be a sign that the other person isn't interested or, wanting to be in that friendship no more. Like, what I mean by efforts being one sided, I mean, like, I'm the only one that's calling you, or I'm the only one that's trying to plan for hangouts. I'm the only one that's checking in to see how you doing. You know, to be honest with you guys, this is kind of hard for me because, on the contrary, I'm not a good call in and check on, type of person. I feel like I can be better at that. So that's something that I can work on, myself. You know what I'm saying? Next thing that I have on my list is they don't show much interest in your life. And that's just simply saying, like, come on now, y'all. Like, real friends want to know what's going on with your life. They want to know what's going on with you. They genuinely want to encourage and hear the scoop of your day to day. They'll check in, and they just give a fuck. They just care. You know what I'm saying? Like, your friends genuinely care about you. Now, I understand life, goes on around us and we have to move and groove and do things. But when you really give a shit about a person, you make time to text them and see how they doing, or call them and see how they doing, or anything like that. So I I feel like, people know exactly what they're doing. So, you let people be people. Your job is to just notice the red flags, notice what's going on, and move through that, move from that. You know what I'm saying? That will teach you how to move. The last one that I have is codependency. Oh my goodness. This is one of those ones that I had to kind of work on myself. A codependent friend is like all fun and games until they try to make you feel guilty for spending time with other friends. And I'm not even gonna lie, I was kind of that friend when I was younger, in my teenager years, because I had a best friend and I just loved her so much, and I didn't want nobody. I didn't want nobody dealing, But as I got older, I had to realize that shit was just toxic. So if your friend acts jealous or lashes out, that's totally a red flag, and you should reevaluate the friendship. To add to this, it also means that they rely on you for their happiness, like sucking you dry like a cactus. You know what I'm saying? For not going to use advice all day, every day, advice to soothe their psyche, like, it's very toxic, and you probably should have been, you know, gone. You probably don't even want to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Um, Technically, I have more, but I feel like we pretty much get the gist, right? You know what I'm saying? Um, I'll just go ahead and read a few more. You feel taken advantage of, or there's no accountability for a person's actions. You often feel judged. They cause you stress and anxiety. Like, none of those things should be going on in your friendships. Having a friend should not be this hard. Okay? It shouldn't be hard to the point where you gotta have powwows and ponderosas all the time trying to figure out where y'all stand. If y'all have to do that more often than most, then are y'all really friends? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Well, that is going to conclude today's episode of I So Boom, the podcast with Shan214. I enjoyed you guys sitting here chatting with me. It was a whole lot of fun. If you want to chop it up with me a little bit more, if you have a topic idea, if you just need confirmation to your advice or to, how you're feeling, feel free to hit me up at isoboomshan@gmail.com. And I'm going to leave you with this. I love everybody that loves me. And in order to heal, you must already be broken. And what don't break you will definitely make you. Peace.
Put that on his mind. Put that on his mind. I had to go grind, gotta get mine. Grew up on noodles, my dog ain't no poodles. Been in that water like pirates and scuba. Pats got me through it, thank God, hallelujah. I said I was gonna punch it and didn't. I forgot. Waking up on them pallets turned me to a savage. Had to go get it, Lord knows I ain't have it. Stepping and sliding that ABB challenge. You want it, I got it, don't know you, I'm taxing. Only want profit, don't do too much lack. Bad yellow bitch booty soft as a mattress. Kashawn in this hoe, what it do, get it brackin'. Cool black is the crackin', my niggas get active. If it don't add up, that boy get subtracted. In love with my money, it's really attractive. No suit and tie till I rest in the casket. When I was in class, had a gun in my khakis. Trapped out my locker, was slanging them Xannies. Serving my teachers to get in a panic. Hustling back, was delivering Grammys. Till I had to boss up, now niggas can't stand me. I had to cut up like Dr. Miami. I got your bitch taking flight to Miami. Nah, I ain't tricking, I got the bitch scamming. But she ain't gon' find out until she gets stranded.